Okay, so there we
That's
go.
close.
Oh, you're back. Thank you, Casper. I just started the recording.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. So welcome to M2. It's now a next. It really is a next. So whereas the basics was just building a basic chassis, doing the basic navigation, forward, backward, left, right, back, just the basic navigation. And really some problem solving, but using just a passive attachment. All right. So that is fine. Okay. And it's really important that your learners get that part of it. But now there's a next, and there's always a next. In robotics, there's always a next. And we're not pushing our learners, but we're encouraging them to move on. There's got to be progress, because we need to prepare them for the future that lies ahead, when we might not be part of. So with that said, there's two aspects that will be dealt with in this session. On the one hand, we are going to make the programming more effective, okay? And by making the program more effective, we are using, and I'm just going to unplug this quickly. Oopsie. So the basic robot that we had no idea of the environment. Okay, so if you programmed it to go 2 rotations, it went 2 rotations. Came back 2 rotations, it went back 2 rotations. Okay, now we're going to fine tune that. So we want our programming to include measurements from the environment. Okay, and our measurements from the environment will say, go forward until you come to a wall. Go forward until you see a red line on the ground. Go forward until you sense there's something in front of you, and then you must stop. Okay, so the programming, we're going to up the programming and say we're going to be more intelligent. I'm saying intelligent with inverted commas because you've heard about artificial intelligence. Well, this is kind of the start of that. Robots only as intelligent as you program it to be, but that's just an aside. So what we're doing in these 4 sessions, so today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, is we're saying we're taking the programming and we're going to introduce programming structures. Okay, that's the first Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday, we are going to upgrade the building structures. And the building structures, instead of just having a passive attachment, we're going to now have powered attachments. Okay, and powered attachments can be controlled by your programming. All right, and then the last session is where we bring it all together and say, now we're going to need a different level of problem solving because we need to do multitasking. Okay, the robot needs to kind of go forward and pick things up and come back and then turn around the corner and go here and go there. So there's a lot that the robot needs to do, and you need to program it. Okay, so that is just kind of in a nutshell where we're going. Just in case you think I'm all over the place, there is method in the madness. And we are going to publish the M2 MOOC portal, hopefully tonight, when it's all quieter. So the M2 MOOC portal will be open. Again, you need to do at least one MCQ quiz for each unit. And there's a portfolio that you need to submit. And it'll be open till the end of November this year. Yeah. So you can use it as your teaching and learning. You can gather information from your learners. But a rich learning experience that is, it's not just to be rushed off. Okay, so let's go through the presentation, and then we'll ask and we'll stop and ask for questions. All right. So now I need, again, my team needs to tell me that they can see my PowerPoint. All right, let's have a look here. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay, Tamelo, Casper.
Something. There we go.
Is it coming?
Yes.
Awesome. There we go. Loud and proud. Okay, we're good.
Yes, just waiting for you to wait in the slideshow.
Yes. Can I carry on?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
All right. So
on slideshow.
All right. So these 4 sessions come after basics, and if you haven't completed the basics, you're welcome to sit and still listen and ponder these. But it'll all make sense if you've first done M1 and then come onto M2. But whatever, it's all good. All right. So we're going to do sensors and flow control. Remember, we are making the programming more effective and efficient. And so this is our team for the day. Cabela did the welcome. Customer, welcome back. I'll do the presentation. Tumelo will explain how to get onto the MOOC portal for those who don't know yet. Nadine's got some really cool news. We've got the chat and then the closing. And I'm just saying Anzani needs to upload her form as well for the closing. All right. So just some navigation of who's who in this team. The recordings
can I please stop you there, Dr. Hose?
Beg your pardon?
Can I kindly please stop you there? Your presentation, it's just open. It's not on slideshow yet, so we don't see the actual there. No, sorry. I thought you were going.
Okay. Should we try again?
Please.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to share again. Oh my goodness. All right, let's try again.
In the meantime, kindly please check on the chats. Yes, we can see the presentation, but that slide 4 is not yet visible to
now.
Just press F5 again, Dr. Klaus.
Okay, let me just stop sharing again. Ai, tochie. All right, third time lucky. Okay, I'm going to just do a whole screen share. All right. Can you see my slideshow?
Yes. All is well now. Thank you so much.
Big and bold.
Yes.
Okay. So just kind of just to help you navigate the ICET space. This is ICET Robotics Live Online Learning. The recordings will be in the MOOC 2 portal. If you have any MOOC queries, you can make an appointment with Tumelo and Nadine, and they'll gladly assist you. Any other general queries, they are Anzani will deal with that. And then the content of these sessions is available on the UNISA MOOC portal. Okay, so what we're trying to do is to equip our robotics coaches. We'd love to hear your questions, and we are just assuming that M1 has been completed. All right, so tomorrow I'll get the robots to run around and be crazy here. We're kind of assuming you either have a physical robotics kit, so that's either the EV3, the Spike, or the NXT, and then you have a computer or a laptop with the software downloaded on it. There is a virtual robotics toolkit option, and if you're going to use that, please let us know, because please don't buy the license. You can do a trial version of that. Okay. So now we come to a now what, and I actually wanted to show you the little sensors as well that we're gonna put onto our robots. So these, you can see this is a touch sensor. So if you press on it, it has a reading. So there's a reading coming. The ultrasonic, it looks like Wally's eyes, but this is a sender and that's a receiver. All right. So it emits a wave from there and it comes into there. And when we do it just now, you'll notice that, well, if you can think about it, if you are transmitting onto a flat surface, you're most likely to get back the measurement. If it's curved, there's always a deflection, so you might not get the reading. All right. We're going to do lots of practicals tomorrow. Then this is the color sensor. It's got it looks like two little eyes on top of each other, and then the gyro. The gyro is for orientation. All right, so that's the EV3 sensors. The Spike Prime sensors look pretty much similar, except that the gyro is built into the brain. Okay, with the EV3, the gyro is still addition to the brain. So these are our sensors. I can add that there's a temperature sensor, which is lots of fun. For those brave hearts, we're thinking of running a soccer workshop in June holidays, and then we have a compass sensor. Also and an infrared seeker, so it finds the ball with the infrared, and it's lots of fun. But this is, so as you go along, you're just going to add more and more sensors. But I also want to caution, don't just add sensors for the sake of adding sensors. Add sensors that you can have meaningful and correct data. And so data logging is a whole It's another lecture on its own, but we'll get to that. All right. So just some general discussion. If we now step back from robots in education and think of the wider sensors, well, if we're going to have robots that have any form of intelligence, they need to be able to measure their environment. Okay, so sensors are attached, and sensor data is then measured, and we usually take the sensor data as it comes in, and then it's processed. Sometimes we do data logging, so we take the censored measured data and we put it into a file, and then we can analyze it. So that's kind of in reconstructing environments, we can do that. How are sensors classified? Well, they're classified according to the data that they collect. All right. You can change the frequency, you can change what data they're measuring, these are questions that you'll need to research. I'm really encouraging to go do some research on sensors. Okay, why do robots need sensors? Well, they need to be gathering the environment, otherwise they're not going to know where they are. Critical for the safety of the robot. Well, we don't want robots running around a hospital sanitizing and then bumping into patients and bumping into hospital beds, and that's not good. So the sensors themselves are adding to the safety of the robot. Okay, so it's not just for a nice to have, it's actually that the robot stays safe. An example is you would not want the little rover robot on Mars to go off a crevice. It needs to detect that it's about to go over a cliff and stop. All right. I really encourage you to read the role of sensors in the evolution of robotics, because as sensors become more sensitive and more effective and more efficient, this allows robots to evolve. Okay, so just remember that it's not just we put a sensor on just for the sake of putting a sensor on. There is actually a path, and if you want to, and I'll tell you again, go and look at what Boston Dynamics are doing with robots, and then go and look what they're doing with sensors. Mind-blowing stuff. All right, and we are preparing our learners then with the sensors that we have, to kind of identify with this. You will notice as soon as you have started robotics with your learners, they will be able to understand what this article is all about. All right. Which sensors are most important on a robot? Well, that depends where the robot is and where it's going. Okay. For example, a sensor that is trying to find maybe a fire, so you get a fire robot. Well, the most important sensor it has is probably the temperature sensor. Okay. Yeah. And so your sensor, the most important sensor, is then linked to the function of your robot. Okay. And then some of the common sensors in robotics, read it. See, there's a really cool, and I'll maybe add it to as a link tomorrow. There's a handbook of robotics, which is kind of, it gives a status quo of where robotics is. Yeah, I'll add that attachment to it. All right. But sensors as is, it has input data, but it's the sensor data that's read is not always the same. So if I have a robot, I'm testing a robot here in my office with a little bit of sunlight coming in on the side window, that light is not the same as the fluorescent lights that are shining in the ICET Robotics Hub, for example. So then we do calibration, and calibration is to say, what data what do we have? Okay, and then so the sensor calibration is a really important topic, and we'll get to that as well. Then I said we're going to fine tune the programming, and here's the cool thing: there are only 3 flows in programming. There's only 3 flows. Okay, linear we've already done. Remember we said it goes forward, then it goes back, and then it turns left, and then it turns right, and then it waits, and then that is linear. Okay, every single piece of that code executes one after the other. All right. Repetition happens when you have a chunk of code and you let it execute multiple times. And decision is when there's a decision, an input value, maybe a measurement from a data, which then decides which path of execution it's going to follow. So if you see a red line, stop. If you don't see a red line, continue. Okay, so that would be a decision in your programming. All right. So we've got a sensor. A sensor is a device. We attach the sensor to the robot. You attach it with structure, so with connectors, but also with wires. Okay. The sensor data has got to get into the brain somehow. Okay. So there's two ways that you have to connect a sensor. The one is with connectors, and the other one is with the wires. All right. I've shown you how they connect here onto the brain, and it must click in. It goes, and then you'll know that it's attached. Okay. Otherwise, the reading is going to be of 0 value. Okay. So I want to show you here. So this program is linear. It goes this, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then that. So that's linear. If you were to do repeat, you would put the program inside here. If you wanted to switch, you will say either do that part or that part. Okay. All right. So let's start. We're attaching a sensor. Now, if you have an ultrasonic sensor, it's down the bottom here. Okay. It's facing forward. So it's going to be able to see if something's in front of it, because we're detecting if there's something in front of it. You don't always have to attach it like that. If you have a higher thing that you want to detect, you can move the ultrasonic a little bit higher. The color sensor, it faces down. If you're following the line on the left-hand side, I would, and I'm going to show you a robot now, we move it towards the left wheel. If you follow it on the right-hand side, you put it over the left wheel. And then there's this eternal problem with light coming in. And so I'll show you now. You make a wall to keep out unnecessary light. Okay, the touch sensor is the easy one. We should have touch sensors on the back of all cars, so you can't bump into an object when you reverse. If you go forward, you would have it in front, so don't bump into the wall ahead of you. This kind of attachment is used by teams to start the robot. So instead of looking for the code, it says wait until the touch sensor is pressed and then go. So this is an opportunity or an option then to attach a touch sensor like that. Okay. Again, you've got to have a wire and you've got to have connectors. Okay, here's the ultrasonic. I said if you go forward, then you measure the distance to the front. On the side, you would like measure the distance to a wall. So if you keep moving along a wall, you would make sure the distance stays the same. All right. Again, you need connectors to hold it, and you need a wire to connect so the data can be read. Okay. I've spoken about the color sensor, but the color sensor we will then do tomorrow, and I'll get out a mat and I'll show you how that works. Okay. The gyros, I want to pause here and say, let's focus for the learners first on touch sensor and color sensor, and then the ultrasonic, and then they can do the gyro sensor. It's always important to leave something else which they can still do if they want to do. All right. So let's go through this structure. Okay. So I'll show you now in the programming environment. If this is your structure, you can set the control. All right. You have to control your loop. All right. Your loop is otherwise going to go to infinity. It's got the unlimited, the infinity and beyond. It's going to go infinity, and we don't want that. So you need to be able to control your loop with a condition. So there's always a condition, and the condition says until a specified value is reached. All right. I'm apologizing for my dog barking. People are taking their dogs for walks on the street. All right. So in this case, you would go forever unless you take input from the color sensor, color or reflected light or ambient light. One of those sensors could be used to stop the loop, because this stays, it executes. I'm going to show you now. This will execute until this condition is reached. And when that condition is reached, then it'll get out the loop. All right. All right. So let's have a look what it looks like in EV3 or Smart. No, it's a Spike Prime, or in Scratch. Okay. So let's read this here. So when the program starts, you'll repeat until what? Until the touch sensor that's connected to port A is pressed. Okay. As soon as it's pressed, then you will continue out here. And whilst that is true, you'll continue to work in here. Okay. Let's have a look here. So the program starts. You will repeat whatever's in here until what? Until the ultrasonic sensor attached to port A is less than 15 centimeters. So you've got 15 centimeters. You've got a little bit of play to stop your robot before it collides in. You don't want to say, until the distance is 0, because then you've already collided with the wall. Okay. All right. Again here, it repeats until what? Until the color sensor connected in port A is red. Okay. That's looping. All right. It'll continue until something stops it. And I can guarantee you now, one team is going to have an infinite loop, and they're going to wonder why their robot goes forever, which is why it's really important when you work with robots, the tables must have sides, because a robot that flies off the table is a dead robot. Okay, then you might as well not continue. All right. Learners sometimes forget, and then it's disaster, and then it's an accident that should not have happened. All right. Okay, so if you read this here again, we're going to go forward with 50% power, okay, until what? Until the touch sensor in port number 1 is bumped. Okay, so we go forward, 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 and if it's bumped, it's going to do what? As soon as it's bumped, it'll stop. If it doesn't bump, it'll continue. All right. Just don't go 100% power, because then you're going to ram into something. All right. Okay, so go here. So we're going to go forward until the ultrasonic in port number 4 sees something which is less than 20 centimeters. Okay, and then what? And then it'll stop. As soon as this condition is true, then it'll stop. Okay, and play with it. Test it out. All right. Again, we're going to go forward until the color sensor sees the color red, and then we're going to stop. You have to say what's coming afterwards. And rule of thumb, if you put a motor on, you put a motor off. Okay, if you put a motor on, you've got to put a motor off. If you go forward, you've got to come back. If you turn left, you've got to turn right. Okay, to come back. Maybe forward and reversing. Okay. Okay, so here it says go forward until 10 seconds have passed, and then you stop. Okay. The downside of this is if your battery is flat and you go for 10 seconds, you're going to maybe go a few centimeters, whereas if you're a fully charged robot, you're probably going to go a little further. Okay. Okay. Here again. So that's until the touch sensor is pressed, until the ultrasonic is less than 15 centimeters, until the color sensor sees red. Okay. Those are your conditions, and that value is specified, and that is going to stop your loop. Okay. Whatever you put into it is going to happen over and over and over and over again. All right. Now, as much as you use data to kind of do over and over and then stop the process, you can do a switch. Okay. So the switch says there's a structure, okay, but you're not going to do both execution paths. Okay. There's a condition. Okay. And it depends on the value, the input value. So here it says if the touch sensor in port A is bumped. If it is, then you do this path. If it's not, you're going to go down here. All right. That is the value that controls your decision. Okay. You've got to have a number that controls your decision. All right. This might look a bit chaos. So let's just look over here. If the color sensor in port number 3 sees red, it will say red. If it doesn't see red, it'll just say hello. Okay. There you have a you hear something to confirm whether it's red or not red. Okay, so here again, we're going to go forward until the touch sensor in port number 1 is pressed. If it's pressed, okay, both motors are going to stop. We're going to wait for 1 second, and we're going to reverse backwards. Okay, if it's not pressed, we're just going to say hello, 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 and then it'll carry on for 10 seconds. And then it'll stop. All right. This would be how to get out of a maze. So if you go forward into a wall and it's solid, you bump into it, you reverse back a little bit, and then you'll keep going. All right. Luckily, this robot only has 10 seconds to get lost. Okay. It's again the same thing. Okay. All right. So this is exactly the same. If you've got a color sensor in port A and it's black, then we're going to move at 40 and 20. So 40 is going with more power, so that's left, and left is going to go faster. So if left goes faster, you're going to turn right. Okay, and exactly the same the other way around, 20, 40. Okay, so you have to know where you are going, and I would really suggest that you test it. Okay. But as always, there is a plethora of videos, of resources, and I would really encourage you to watch at least one of these links. All right, to watch one of these links and say, what do I learn from these sensors? Okay, and how do I use the data to make my robot a better or more effective robot? Okay, there is also on this is the Spike portal. There is a programming, and then there is, let me show you there. Okay, so there is the Spike, and up there is also the programming and how to do loops and switches. There's lots of examples and lots of things to play with there. All right. So we're hoping that you've completed M1 and that you're registering for M2. If you haven't, it's not a problem. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to build a robot with a sensor, and you have to program it. Okay. So you'll find in the notes there are things that you have to be able to attach a color sensor. You have to be able to attach an ultrasonic. You have to be able to attach a touch sensor. All right. And then you have to program it. So what I'm asking you to do is then to go forth maybe this evening and go and test it out. And then let's see what we can accomplish by tomorrow. All right. Cool. So now I'm going to hand over to Tumelo, who's going to explain the MOOC portal. Tumelo?
Greetings and happy Monday. Almost
Happy Monday.
Thursday.
Do you need my presentation, or are you good?
Oh, I can. Oh, okay. But I prefer using my own.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And out I go. All right. Thanks, Tumelo.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Let me know if you can see my screen.
I can see it from my side.
All right. Thank you so much, many of you.
There we go. Thank you.
So, if you would like to register for your MOOC, so you simply go to the UNISA MOOC portal, and here is the link here. And then to create your own MOOC account, these are the instructions for you how to create the MOOC account. And then you will have to click on new account, and then on new account you need to create your user ID, first name, last name, email, age, and everything, as well as creating your own password and verify your password. Now for you to enroll for a MOOC, you need to click on membership. Now for you to be able to do that, I need this slide. Yes. Now remember, you have I started this the other way, not the normal way I used to do it. So immediately when you click on the MOOC portal, these will be the instructions for you to do. You just click on how to register. When you click on how to register, you will find this PDF document. After clicking on the PDF document, and you are able to create your own username as well as your password, when you click on login, what you'll have to do, you have to click on sites, and then what you have to do, you have to click on membership. When you click on membership, you go to membership there. It will show you my current slides, my official course enrollments, as well as joinable sites. When you click on joinable slides, you slide down there. As you continue sliding, you will see that I said robotics should be on this portion.
It's coming. I'm publishing it now.
Oh.
I'm going to publish it now. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Give me half a minute.
Yeah. You mean the M2?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, it's coming.
So let's just wait for the M2. But in the meantime, if you can see the I said robotics M1, when you click on it there, because since you'll be joining it, when you click on it, this is what you'll see here on the overview. So on the overview, it will just indicate to you that the aim of this MOOC is to equip you, educators, students, community leaders, to coach and mentor teams of learners in robotics, and to discover the exciting world of robotics. Please note that no prior knowledge is required for this MOOC. So M1 will consist of 4 online units. Each unit has learning material and ISET Robotics Live online learning webinar as per the schedule. Additional materials include are recommended, and M1 MOOC is available from February until the 30th of November 2022 to ensure all registered students are given the opportunity to submit the requirements to complete the M1 MOOC. So the great thing about this MOOC portal as well as the UNISA platform is that when you are immediately logged into UNISA platform, you are not charged of your data. These are zero-rated platforms. So let's see, Dr. Gous, have you loaded it now?
Yes, it should be. It's published.
All right, let's see whether it's published. This is the very interesting site. So now we go to home, and then after home, click on membership. On membership, click on join our sites. Then we slide, looking for ISET Robotics. If we don't find it,
We say it's there.
say show more. And then if we still can't find it, we click on type ISET dash and then do like this. Okay, because I've been online, let me try log out and log in again. Should be very simple. So when I log in, go to membership, go to, oh, there we go. I'm automatically in.
Cool.
So ISET Robotics M2 2022. Oh, I see someone also have joined there on the chats. So immediately when you click on it there you go. Oh, I see. There's already 3 people in the site already.
Oh, wow.
So
Awesome.
people are very hungry for this. Otherwise, thank you so much. And if you have any other questions regarding this, please don't hesitate to email us. And I'll just have a look at the chat box. You can email us concerning the MOOC portal. Just indicate on the subject line that MOOC portal, and then it's easier for us to get it right away, to get it sorted. Otherwise, thank you so much.
There we go. Thank you, Tamelo. Awesome. Okay. Next. Sure. All right, let's have a look and see what happens there. All right. I also would like to say that if you are doing the multiple choice quizzes and you would like to create your own multiple choice question, you're welcome to send it to us. And we will acknowledge you and say, this is a question from Tamelo, and we will add it to the question pools. So we're growing. We had a whole lot of contributions last year, and we're going to add some more this year. So if you have a question that you'd like to add to one of the question pools, please send it to us and we'll add it with pleasure. Also, if you have any additional resources, you are more than welcome. I have a lot of stuff which I'm going to upload hopefully this weekend with additional materials to help you in your teaching and learning of robotics. And okay, awesome. Thanks, Tamela, for that. On that, next up is Nadine. Nadine, do you want to give a news broadcast quickly? There we go.
So I've shared a link on the chat. You can have a look at the link. This is the latest news post, which will be on Twitter as soon as our Twitter account is live again. So this is a continuation of the discussion from the previous session.
Nadine, I'm sorry to cut you there.
Yes.
I've shared the screen. Can I play it?
Yes, please. Thank you. So the metaverse will be a collective project that goes beyond a single company. It will be created by people all over the world and open to everyone. So Meta is Mark Zuckerberg's company, which has about 8 products, including Facebook. They've bought WhatsApp, Instagram, Workplace, Oculus, which is VR technology. So they make those VR glasses. And these are all tools that are going to be integrated into the metaverse. So if you know what the metaverse is or you have an idea, you're welcome to comment or ask any questions. It's more of an open discussion because it's not anything that is really finalized. It's more in development. Right, so Facebook is investing about, it is estimated that they're investing about $15 million into this project annually. So they're investing a lot of money to build these products and connect everyone via these social media tools. And that's their contribution to the metaverse. Okay, so that's all from me. If you have any questions, then please make a comment or question in the chat or unmute.
And the metaverse already exists, Nadine?
It exists on the internet, and yes, in games and places. So yes, it exists. It's going to be more second nature to even the workplace. My teams, the tool we're using right now, it will be part of it. So I mean, it already is.
Okay. Okay. Phew. Nadine, you have a question from Dorothy. Dorothy, unmute yourself.
Hi, Nadine. Hi, Patricia and everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Dorothy.
Yes. I'm very excited to get into this project of Metaverse. And I've got the same question that Patricia has, whether it really exists or it is just still imagination. And I would like also to know more about the NFTs and Metaverse.
Okay, very interesting, Dorothy. Thank you. Well, NFTs, yes. So NFTs are tradable tokens. They are non-fungible tokens, which can be anything that you can tokenize and sell electronically. So artwork is a good example of a tradable token. So there's already a marketplace for that, and it's already quite popular actually right now. So yes, it does exist. I mean, how adopted it is, it's not really being adopted much, but it is really growing. So it exists in games, and it exists in existing ecosystems and platforms we have. And social media is actually one of them. So social media, we all are connected to social media, and so we all have a step or foot in the metaverse already. Does that answer your question? Dorothy?
Yes, it does. Thank you for the information. I see little kids getting into metaverse. I think it's metaverse. I was thinking it's just imaginary. When they play, they go for Roblox. They get in there. They talk about how they get into real life in there.
Yeah, that's true. Roblox, yes. The kids love Roblox, and I've got Roblox myself, but it's a lifestyle. Once you start playing, it takes a lot of your time, but that's pretty much where the world is going. So we're gonna be spending a lot more time and investing online than in the real world, or the physical world, should I say.
Sure. Interesting. We'll keep this recording. We'll keep it over 100 years, and they can listen to what we were discussing.
See on the chat, Chantal says, makes one think we're going to end up in a digital realm. And then Brown Alexander posted a link for YouTube for you guys to have a look at it. And then I see Francis Anderson says, isn't this their attempt to get into the Bitcoin market? And I see Brown Alexander is answering, saying that, it is another way to get money. Microtransactions have been in games for quite a while. There is a pushback towards NFTs because of the energy requirement to bring them into existence. Seems like Brown Alexander has some knowledge on this. Would you like to unmute yourself and tell us one or two things regarding this, Mr. Alexander?
I can do so, Kabila. The thing is, because it's the NFTs is connected to the blockchain, and you have your Bitcoin miners that actually runs Bitcoin mining machines. The amount of energy required to bring these NFTs into existence is quite high, and there's quite a bit of a pushback because they said that it's just not make any sense, to have something that requires this much energy just to have something that is in the end nothing worth.
And Nadine, what do you have to say regarding that?
Like I'm on both sides of the fence when it comes to NFTs. I am someone who would create rather than buy. I mean, it depends how you can actually make money trading. Like you can always make money, so it depends whether you have a strategy. You can have a strategy, you can always make money, but there's a term called Dutch tulips, which means that there's really no value backing it, but value is determined by, it's like willing buyer, willing seller. If somebody's willing to pay for something, then it has value. So you can profit from it, and at the same time you should be smart enough to know like when to draw the line and say, okay, this is not worth investing money into. But somebody said something about Bitcoin. So Bitcoin really, yeah, you should start learning about Bitcoin if you want to really know how the blockchain works, because Bitcoin is the first successful global cash system, electronic cash system. So that's the starting point. But I'm not sure, like, if there are games that are like, there's a lot of ways you can buy using Bitcoin online, and then most games have their own currencies or their own tokens. So there's a lot out there. Yes, very much.
I think we need to have a whole session on Bitcoins, Nadine.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Wow, this has been a really good news broadcast with lots of discussion. It's been great. I think we need to open this for a general discussion one day. Thank you very much for sharing. Cool. And thank you everybody for contributing. It's been really cool. Food for thought. Food for thought, that's for sure. All right. Anybody got any other questions? Any other comments? I can't see any more hands up. Yes, thank you, Tamela, for adding all that information on the chat. Thank you very much for that. All right. Okay. Sure, it's been a busy session. Kabelo, would you like to close for us?
Thank you, everyone, for attending today's session. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's session. And I really learned a lot, especially regarding Bitcoins. Yeah, it was a nice discussion there. So I think Dr. Cruz is right. We need to have a session just on it so that people can understand it further. And
Yes.
without wasting any time, I'll wish everybody a wonderful evening, and until we see each other tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Kabelo. Thank you. Thank you, team, for the rich discussions. It's been really, really a cool session. All right. And we will be practicing with robots and sensors tomorrow. All right. Stay well. Thank you, everybody. Bye.